Good morning, dear students. For today we have the activity for second back, segundo bachillerato. En vista que tuvimos un problema técnico y de conexión, dejo este video explicando cómo desarrollar la actividad, how to develop the activity for second back, right? So I'm going to show the activity for today based on July Thursday, 15, 2021. We have a reading and science topic, DNA, fact or science fiction. Ok, vamos a hablar acerca del ADN, ¿verdad? Hecho o ciencia ficción. Ok, recuerda que te dejo el enlace del audio también, ok, en la guía, en la ficha, el Word editable Word document. There are many common misconceptions about DNA testing. Let's address them one by one so you can learn the truth about the genetic genealogy testing options. We are going to see some myth. Myth number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ok, algunos mitos. Vamos a escuchar el audio de los mitos sobre el ADN y lo trabajamos en conjunto. Escuchamos, hacemos el listening. Thank you.
DNA, fact or science fiction? There are many common misconceptions about DNA testing. Let's address them one by one so you can learn the truth about your genetic genealogy testing options. Meet first. Geneticists use hair and blood samples to trace a person's ancestry. Although scientists do utilize hair and blood samples for paternity tests and forensic analysis, there is no need to draw blood or collect hairs for a genetic genealogy test. You can order a DNA test for yourself or someone else. Myth second. A DNA test can pinpoint precisely where your ancestors live or which tribe they belong to. If your ancestors stay in one geographic region and never allowed outsiders to enter, it would be relatively easy to distinguish the DNA and yours from the DNA of people living in other regions. But most of your ancestors didn't stay in one place. Myth 3. To find out if you and another person descend from the same great-great-grandfather, you need to dig out his body for a DNA sample to test. No. There are easier ways to prove a genetic link that don't involve literally turning relatives over in their graves. To find out if you and someone else descend from the same male ancestor, you should turn to Y DNA testing using the Y chromosome passed down by males. Myth 4. The results of ancestor DNA tests are the 99% accurate, just like the DNA test on CSI. Genetic genealogy isn't an exact science involved interpretation. Remember that a genetic mutation can occur at any time, so even a father's and son results might not match exactly. Myth 5. If you take a DNA test, you can find out who your great-grandmother parents were. Your DNA test result won't reveal your ancestor name, but you can use them to do a little detective work online. Enter your Y-DNA marker values or your relative into a public DNA database.
Okay, based on this information, on the listening, we have some questions, okay, based on the five myth, okay? We have some of them. The first one is geneticists use hair and blood samples to trace a person's ancestry. The second one, a DNA test can pinpoint precisely when your ancestors live or which tribe they belong to. Myth number 3, to find out if you or another person descend from the same great-great-grandfather. You need to dig up his body for DNA sample to test. The number 4, the results of the ancestral DNA test are the 90% accurate, just like the DNA test on CSI, okay? And the last one, if you take a DNA test, you can find out who your great-grandmother's parents were. Okay, all of them have different kind of concepts in which you are going to sing at home. In this case, you have two questions. Which of these myths do you believe? Okay, do you believe probably that you descend from your parents because your hair color is, for example, is blonde or is a black? Always people observe that the parents have the same or looks like in the same way like children. That's why the DNA is showing up. Okay, well, the next one. After reading this text, do you think DNA testing is valuable? Why or why not? Okay, you have here a space in order to write your answer in which you can practice your writing. Okay, you have a vocabulary, DNA. What is the meaning of DNA? The abbreviation of the desoxirribonucleic acid, ácido desoxirribonucleico en español, the chemical at the center of the cells in living things that control the structure of purpose of each cell and carry genetic information during the reproduction. It means las células en que tú te formas son las células que tienes de tu creación, de quienes en el momento de la reproducción tú naces, ¿no? Y te desarrollas, ¿no? iDNA, the I chromosomes, also called iDNA, is fast, ¿ok? Tenemos una información aquí, vamos a subirlo un poquito. Ok, well, based on this activity, aquí está, ok, it passes virtually unchained from father to son, okay, remember that. So we have an information here. When you read a scientist text, there will be words you don't recognize. Remember, you can use a dictionary or the context to help you. Sometimes you need to read a complex text many times to understand it, okay? Well, this is pretty important that you read as many times as you can and listen up the audio in order to practice your listening and start feeling or answering these questions, okay? It's pretty important. Thank you. You have two questions. What is DNA and what does your DNA determine? Okay, based on this, you are going to type your answer here, okay? Thank you. This is all of the activity for today. Bye-bye.